It is Wednesday morning, and I am out on my own because Linda is doing a Sashiko workshop, a style of Japanese embroidery. And while it is fun, it's not entirely my thing, so I figured I'd explore on my own. And as luck would have it, on the morning that she has the workshop, there is actually a uh, antiques market at about 15 minutes walk from our hotel. So it's both dangerous and interesting, but I'm going to check it out and bring you along this time.
While I make my way to the actual market, which was a 15-minute walk through pretty regular neighborhood, let's check in on Linda and ask her about the whole Sashiko workshop.
Sashiko is a type of traditional Japanese craft to decorate and reinforce fabric for clothes. And I wanted to try it out in Japan, so I did.
That's fair. Did you have fun?
Yes, it was a lot of fun. I went to Sashiko Lab, which is a workshop about 20 minutes by car from here. So I took a taxi. We made a coaster, so a very small. I think I can show it. Show it down. Where is it? Here we go. Where's it? Tiny. It's a 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters.
Bring it up closer, you can see.
That's the back. And that's the front.
But on both the back and the front, it looks
Yes.
quite neat.
Yep. That's kind of the point of Sashiko, you know, when with regular embroidery, the back is sometimes a mess, but with Sashiko, the back tends to be kind of similar to the front. And apart from the workshop, the lady who ran it, Sasumi, I think, she also had vintage Sashiko work, clothes mainly. So that's very interesting. And there was an international group with a lady from Australia, a lady from Israel, a lady from America. That was pretty neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This actually looks like a pretty big market. And I'm going to have so much fun here. Oh, there's also people doing morning gymnastics. I always wondered if that was a thing.
Apologies for the erratic camera behavior, because there was just too much to see and too much that I actually wanted to look at. So I have a few shots here and there of me just swinging the camera around looking at all the things.
I mean, my mom did want me to bring, but doesn't enjoy these thimbles. However, she would prefer one of Japan.
Also, for some reason, I kept turning off my camera too soon, but I only found out now as I'm editing, so can't really fix that. Sorry for that.
There is some legitimately cool stuff here. Oh, I haven't even, well, let's turn around. I haven't even seen a lot of stalls yet, and I've already bought something. I bought fabric, I bought a silk undercoat for men, and I bought I think a silk kimono. It's fairly heavy silk. It is stained, so it would have to be remade a bit. But I do think, I did really like the patterning and the sort of general design. Maybe Linda can turn it into something interesting. We'll see. But yeah, I need to be careful here because I can easily spend way too much money and then there's no way it'll all fit into the bag. There's fabric, so fabric is easier to get around. Suddenly Dutch moped license plates. Kind of fun. That ink set is amazing looking. There's just so much stuff here. Shame I can't bring that phone with me. It is too big and too bulky, but oh man, does it look amazing. I'm going to argue that this place is even better for fabric than Nipoli because they're actually selling all the second-hand stuff here. Like some of it is a bit dirty or a bit worn, but the clothes can actually be remade and all sorts of things. And it's really the old good stuff. I've literally just bought another band of fabric because it was like $10 for 10 meters of fabric. Although it is like thinner, it is about, I would say, 40 to 50 centimeters wide. So that does mean that anything you make out of it is going to be paneled, but it's still going to be interesting, and it's an interesting texture and color. Maybe Linda can make a yukata out of it for herself. Someone has been collecting Disney stuff. Oh man. It is very stupid. That's the front of a TV, and if it weren't for the fact that I would never be able to fit it into my luggage, I would bring that. But I can also find that at home. So, speaking of difficult to bring with me, tools, tools. So cool looking. And also a tiny little guitar in a case, which, I mean, I suppose I could buy that just to say I bought a guitar in Japan, but eh. Their setup is way more professional than mine, but they're probably doing something serious. There is so much cool stuff. That radio is doing it for me. Again, can't bring it with me, but almost I wish I understood Japanese more so I could like buy something. I could buy something random, but no clue what it's going to be. I could buy a million things here. Already bought a brush for 500 yen. And it's one of those like the same sort of style of brush that they use to paint the goshuin. Not that I expect to do really good goshuin. Plus, they don't really have the proper ink palette for it, and they are a bit big to really do. Man, there's so much stuff. It is amazing. Also not as busy I would expect, I think. But that's good because that means I can actually just walk around freely. Not everything is cheap here. There was a very tiny, and I think it was in fact an ivory statue of a little rat. It was very pretty, but he was asking 20,000 yen for it, and that is probably the correct value, but also too much for me. And another instance where I found something interesting, but well, and it's not the price is bad. Like for what it is, it's a jite, which was a police weapon at the end of the Edo during the Meiji Restoration, because it's essentially a weapon designed to fend off against swords. But they were asking 8,000 yen for it, which is about $45. Which again, $45 for essentially a fairly original hite is a fair price. I'm just not sure I'm willing to pay it.
I didn't feel these finds were interesting, but I did have footage of them, so sorry about that.
There's a skeleton there, in case you want a skeleton. And we have swords here, so that's mildly interesting. Can't bring them on plane, but I can look at them. Of course, now I'm tempted to get a wakizashi because there's actually a shoto or wakizashi there that looks wildly impressive. I just didn't dare to ask how much it was because I might end up buying it. And was it good? I mean, it was in good condition. There was another one that looked fancier, but it was immediately significantly poorer in quality. The one I pulled actually had a very smooth draw action. But yeah, do I want to buy a wakizashi?
I did actually visit the temple that was near the market. It was partially under reconstruction, and there wasn't a whole lot to see, but I did manage to get a goshu in there.
I need to call it a day because we have other stuff to do later today, and I could wander around here the entire day and buy way too much stuff, and I've already spent money on specifically fabric in this case. Not a lot of money, thankfully, and a pencil or a brush. There's also cool stuff, but there's also sort of the matter of how do I fit it all into the suitcase, and we still have other places to visit. And some of it was interesting, but some of it was also like, is it interesting enough? Not really, at least. And the wakizashi, cool, but hassle to get through. It could be a hassle to get through security, despite it not being a sharp sword, but yeah, you never know. Plus, it didn't feel balanced. I had the feeling that it was slightly heavier on the front, which could be intentional. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just not gonna risk it. I'm also not super active in that department always, and I prefer just working with a wooden thing because it is a fun practice thing that I do occasionally. So let's head back to the hotel and at the very least drop off this stuff and see what I do from there, because it's somewhere around lunchtime, so I might want to find food somewhere. Quick video on my phone here, hopefully the audio is decent enough. I just visited Big Boss here in Kyoto. Really cool store. Downstairs there was a guy, I forgot to ask his name, I did take a picture with him. And we geeked out. We used Google Translate, typing stuff out, and at some point voicing stuff. Was really fun. And we basically talked a bit about guitars. I did try a guitar. It was a Grover Jackson made in Japan. It was a big flying V monster of a thing, complete with a Floyd Rose and everything. I think it was around 88,000 yen, so for about roughly 400 euros. Decent, at the same time not entirely my thing. I will have to think about it. I have a few days more in Kyoto, so if I decide, you know what, this is the guitar I want to get, I can always think about it. It's sort of outside of my normal color specs. It was entirely grey, even the pick guards and everything, and the knobs were brushed metal, which I am a big fan of. All in all, it was a good guitar, a cool guitar. I'll think about it. But talking to the guy was really fun. He was really into it, and I'm really enjoying it. He actually owns a Alexi Laiho limited edition V with cover art from the Children of Bodom album on it. That was pretty cool. He showed me pictures of it. It was amazing. It was so awesome.
They also had a bunch of Japan exclusive ESP and LTD guitars. We eventually met up again and made our way to a tea ceremony that Linda had organized. Part of that tea ceremony was dressing up in kimonos. The other part was I wasn't allowed to record anything, but we were allowed to take pictures. As a result, I also essentially ended up not really making any more video for the rest of the day, despite doing interesting things. So the rest will have to do with pictures and some narration.
Thank you for waiting so long time. Thank you. ありがとうございます。So sorry. Let me explain how to drink it. Anyway, I didn't drink. So sorry for the information. Beautiful day is completed. Yeah. This is first time to make tea. Oh, good making. Yes, yes. What do you have? That already come. But if you don't mind, let me try a little bit for you. Keep moving your recipe in this way, but not this.
Told you it took some effort, but I figured I'd just show you the whole thing of how I got there. Apparently I was unhappy, so I did a bit more. Faster.
Finally, beautiful bubbles you made. Finally, to gather three people, make one big circle and take the whisk out from the center. Beautiful bubbles you made. Enough bubbles. So then you can stand the whisk. Yeah, beautiful teas are complete. You also
After the ceremony, we had an opportunity to take a bunch of pictures, which we did. There were also some gardens there. Technically, we could have worn the kimonos for most of the rest of the day, but we opted to get out of them once we were done. As we were walking into the Gion district in Kyoto, we actually were approached by a woman, and at first we were like, hey, people are approaching us. Tourist brain kicks in, but we figured out she actually wanted to tell us, hey, there was a last dance of the day at the Geisha Museum, where a maiko, which is a gaiko in training, because in Kyoto geishas are called gaiko, was going to perform a dance. Again, photo and video were strictly prohibited, so we only saw it, and in the museum itself we could take a few pictures, which you can see here. Afterwards, eventually we got a burger at Samurai Burger, which was pretty decent. And after that we simply called it a night.